Good evening, everyone. Tonight, we're becoming crushed under a tidal wave of unfathomable numbers. By one count, over 1 million have now been infected by coronavirus worldwide since the start of this outbreak. Tens of thousands have died. Tonight, in a stunning policy reversal, New York City joining California in urging the general public to wear non-medical face coverings to stop the virus. The crisis in New York reaching a critical mass. Paramedics now empowered to make life and death decisions that were once considered unthinkable. Our team on the front lines again tonight. We start with Gabe Gutierrez.
In New York City, the sounds of sirens are haunting, piercing the abnormal silence of a once bustling city. Today, the governor said the state could run out of ventilators soon.
At the current burn rate, we have about 6 days of ventilators in our stockpile.
But President Trump is blasting some governors across the country as he questions the need for more supplies. Some have insatiable appetites and are never satisfied, he tweeted. The complainers should have been stocked up and ready long before this crisis hit. But with a growing number of temporary morgues set up outside hospitals, healthcare workers are already grappling with life or death decisions. New York City paramedics are no longer taking patients to hospitals unless they have a pulse to ease the strain on overcrowded ERs.
They are extremely short of breath. They are huffing and puffing, and you know that that person is going to tire out if you don't do something immediately.
Dr. Cleveland Gilman says he never thought it'd come to this.
Prior to this pandemic, I would call loved ones once or twice a month and talk about goals of care or that their family member had passed away. And nowadays, I'm doing it once or twice on a shift.
New York City alone now accounts for about a quarter of all confirmed coronavirus cases in the U.S. Statistics show the poorest neighborhoods have been hit hardest.
Many families, because of poverty, live together in very close quarters.
One of those neighborhoods is the Bronx, where ER Dr. Ernest Patty works at St. Barnabas Hospital.
We have 17 patients on respirators right now in the emergency department.
Today, he shared video of his packed ER.
This is definitely the biggest thing I've experienced. I've been through 9/11, Metro North disasters, flipped over tour buses. This is absolutely the worst.
The death toll in the tri-state region has soared to nearly 3,000. Among the lives lost, Kim King-Smith, a New Jersey hospital worker on the night shift. Her family says her smile was more infectious than the virus that took her life. Giacomina Barr Brown was a civilian employee for the NYPD. Father Jorge Ortiz of Brooklyn was the country's first known death of a Catholic priest from COVID-19.
He was a father figure for everybody. I think that's what the community is going to miss the most, because they knew Father Jorge as their father, not just a priest, but as a father.
James Valleco was a veteran and a mechanic for the FDNY. His wife is devastated.
He was my strength, and he was a calm and quiet spirit, but I will miss that about him, because in all of my worries and troubles, he calmed me down, and I will miss that.
Tonight, amid the sirens, there's another sound in the city. Firefighters applauding ambulances. The sound of gratitude.
Governor Cuomo said today that there is still a growing need for bed space, and instead of housing non-COVID patients, the Javits Convention Center will now take them. Authorities are also considering whether to use Manhattan hotels to help treat the sick. Lester.
Yeah, every number we tell you about is a person. And Gabe, thank you for your reporting. And across the country, we're seeing reported sharp spikes in confirmed cases, hot spots all over the place, impacting communities big and small. And there's a shocking turn tonight after an outbreak at sea. With that, here's Miguel Almaguer.
With our national death toll now rising by roughly 1,000 Americans a day, tonight as the coronavirus spreads to nearly every corner of the country, FEMA has requested 100,000 body bags from the Department of Defense, perhaps a chilling indication of what's to come.
I know it's difficult, but we're having a lot of suffering, a lot of death. This is going to get worse before it gets better.
In Colorado, the governor warns the death rate in his state is now rising faster than any other. Writing the vice president, the situation is far worse than we imagined. Georgia's governor finally joining most of the country, issuing a stay-at-home order after declaring he just learned the virus can be transmitted from a carrier showing no symptoms, a fact the CDC declared weeks ago. Ignoring advice from doctors and the White House, roughly a dozen states, including Oklahoma, still refuse to issue a stay-at-home mandate aimed at slowing the virus.
I cannot shut down and bunker in place. It sounds good and it's kind of a soundbite, but it's unpractical.
Amid plans to move some 3,000 sailors off the USS Theodore Roosevelt to hotel rooms in Guam after the virus exploded aboard their ship, the Navy captain who sounded the alarm and sent a letter pleading for help has now been relieved of his command.
At no time did the CO relay the various levels of alarm that I, along with the rest of the world, learned from his letter when it was published by the CO's hometown newspaper 2 days later.
As hospitals everywhere face an influx of patients, a national blood shortage threatens to create another crisis. Tonight, the FDA changing their guidelines, allowing more Americans to donate. In Texas, where new cases are exploding, officials in Austin are investigating a group of 70 college students who chartered a plane to Cabo. Morgan Chesky is in Texas.
Tonight, more than half of the college students in that group are now sick with the virus. Dozens are in isolation. Officials now trying to track down anyone they could have exposed upon returning home.
In Hawaii, a Florida man was arrested after police say he violated the island's order for visitors to stay isolated in their hotel rooms for 14 days. With the Democratic National Convention in Milwaukee postponed until August, in California, all state residents are being encouraged to wear homemade face coverings when in public, including grocery stores.
This will be the look, so let me lead as mayor.
Every measure taken is aimed at saving lives. In Ohio, 3 members of the Conkey family, Lou, Judy, and son David, died within days of each other. In Indiana, Buddy Baker lost his parents and is pleading for everyone to stay home.
You don't want to live this pain, and you don't want someone else to live this pain.
Tonight, there are reports the White House will also recommend Americans living in coronavirus hotspots use face coverings, but not buy surgical masks that are in short supply. Lester?
All right, Miguel, thank you. Now to the staggering toll on American jobs. Unemployment claims skyrocketing to unprecedented levels, with 6.6 million people filing in the last week alone. Here's Jolene Kent.
Tonight, the U.S. economy is in free fall, and millions are desperate for cash. Juanita Flores and her fiancé were both furloughed from their jobs in New Mexico.
We're already living paycheck to paycheck, already behind in bills.
They now join the record 6.6 million Americans who filed unemployment claims last week, about double the week before, totaling a stunning 10 million in just 2 weeks. Compare that to claims filed over the past 50 years, including more than 650,000 a week at the peak of the Great Recession. The astonishing numbers reflect the new reality of businesses large and small, shutting down to adhere to stay-at-home orders across the country.
Families got to eat, bills got to get paid.
So much uncertainty to, have to live with.
I've had to file for unemployment.
Andrew Paris recently lost his bartending job in Pennsylvania. He's struggling to get unemployment benefits, worried about paying an overdue medical bill for his prosthetic leg.
I've called the line hundreds of times. Only gotten busy signal or disconnected. I've tried email.
State unemployment offices are simply overwhelmed. Texas now has virtual chats to answer questions. New York dedicating 700 staffers working remotely to help process claims. And Minnesota is requesting people apply on certain days of the week based on the last digit of their social security number.
It's building the plane as we're flying it, I think, and doing the best we can.
In February, Colorado's unemployment office averaged about 1,000 calls a day. This Tuesday, 225,000 came in. They've added workers to try to keep up.
Is your office able to keep this all moving forward and under control?
Moving forward and under control are 2 words we strive for. I think we need to do the best we can every day.
As for those $1,200 relief payments, they should start arriving by the week of April 13th, according to a memo from congressional Democrats. But for some who do not have direct deposit information on file with the IRS, it could take longer. But tonight, the Treasury Secretary says he wants it to be within weeks, not months.
All right, Joe Ling, thanks very much. And for the millions of small businesses now shut down, owners can apply for emergency loans beginning at 12:01 tomorrow morning. Tom Costello has details for us.
From two small towns in America, first-hand accounts of the crushing toll on small businesses. In Great Falls, Montana, Access Fitness Health Club is closed. Owner Keith Hamburg is not charging his 3,000 members their monthly dues, but is still paying his 41 employees.
If we lost half of our members and they didn't come back, I don't see how the business would be viable past a couple of months.
Across the country in Frederick, Maryland, Stover Hearth and Patio has been a family business for generations. Spring is crucial for patio sales, but they too are closed while still paying their 7 employees.
It's disheartening. You see a store that was built literally brick by the generation before us, and we have never been shut down for more than a day in our 42-year history.
Christy Stover says at 1 minute after midnight, she'll be online signing up for that emergency help through the Paycheck Protection Program. Businesses with 500 or fewer employees can apply for the loan offered through their existing banks or approved lenders. Repayment will be forgiven if all employees continue to be paid. But banks say there are too many unanswered questions, like are the banks responsible for ensuring a loan application isn't fraudulent? Will the federal government guarantee loans if they go bad?
The intention is to get this money out, but let's put it in perspective. This is a brand new program, $350 billion, and we don't know all the rules yet. You can't do that overnight.
Tonight, the nation's biggest bank, Chase, says it will most likely not be able to start processing loan applications tomorrow because it says it needs more guidance from the government. Lester?
Tom Costello tonight. Thank you. Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.